Good evening, everybody. This is John Raymond with Timeshare Talks, and I'm your host, along with Wayne Robinson, and Irene Parker. And tonight, our guest is Jake Bercu, a board member of Tahoe Beach and Ski Club. A little bit of background about myself is I'm a timeshare resale broker, and I have been for over 20 years. And I own a lot of timeshares. I have a lot of fun with them, and I've helped a lot of people buy and sell timeshares. And Wayne Robinson is the author of the book, Everything About Timeshares and Everything People Should Know About Timeshares. So before buying one, or even if you own one and you're trying to sell it, it'd be a good idea to buy his book, which you'll find on Amazon. And Irene Parker is an independent writer, and she's been a friend of mine for many years. She's helped a lot of people sell timeshares. And Timeshare Talks has two goals, and that's the first is to educate and promote a viable secondary market for timeshares. The second is to be a bridge between the developers and timeshare owners. And tonight, Jake Bercu, who's a treasurer on the board at Tahoe Beach and Ski Club, will be letting us know what his timeshare board is doing right. Because 2 weeks ago, we had Ron Roberts on from Legacy Solutions. And now he and Irene Parker have interacted with HOA that have no responsible exit from their timeshares, nor do they even have a resale program for their current owners. So when I met Jake a few weeks ago, he told me that their Tahoe Beach and Ski is very proactive on both sides of a resale program and an exit program. So I asked him to be on the show tonight and to share what they're doing. So Jake, I'd like to introduce you, and please tell us what you and Tahoe Beach and Ski Club are doing right now.
Thank you. At Tahoe Beach and Ski, we adopted an exit program about 3 or 4 years ago. We wanted to make sure that our owners had a peace of mind of knowing that they could exit their ownership at Tahoe Beach and Ski. This was adopted by the association board, and for the association, recognizing that there is no secondary market, and we can get into why there isn't the secondary market, but there is no secondary market for most of the inventory that our owners would want to exit from. So realizing that, we knew that we needed our owners to be able to exit, and also recognizing that the association has no responsibility for having an exit program. Similar to a homeowner association that has homes, and when the home prices drop, nobody really expects the association to buy their home because they need to move somewhere else. So, but there is the moral responsibility of the board to make sure that the members of the association can exit. And so we developed this exit program with the understanding that the exit process would be the last process that the owners use after they have tried most everything else. They've tried to give it to their family. They've tried to sell it directly. They've tried to give it away to other members. And if that doesn't work, then they can come to the association and ask to exit the program. The way the program works is they pay $1,000 to exit the program. That includes all the fees. So our fees are about $350 to $350 for the transfer, the legal transfer. We use an outside company, a title company, to do the transfers. And we ask that the owners have a clear title of their deed, and they transfer it to the association. So $350 go towards the transfer, and $650 go towards paying the dues for the next year, because on the average, our sales staff at the resort tells us that it takes them about a year to turn over the inventory that we get from the exit. As a result of adopting this exit program, we found that our attrition has lowered substantially with people trying to exit. We still have seasonality. We still have owners that want to exit when they receive their bill for next year's dues. But our program runs from April to September, and if they cannot, so they need to pay the dues for the year, and then they can use it for that year, or they can find other owners. But if they want to enter the exit program, then between April and September, they can join the program. That prevents the possibility of somebody coming in an owner coming in October or November and asking to exit after they receive the bill, because the bill is due, and now they could be delinquent on their ownership before the program is finished. Legally, when they are delinquent, we cannot take the unit back, not even take it back. We cannot process it unless we use the ABC policy, which was adopted by the board, which holds true for all the owners at the resort. And that's legally, we have to publish an ABC policy every year, and we can't vary from it. So to prevent getting into delinquencies, we stopped the program on September 1st. And so we're able to change deeds by December 31st.
What is an ABC policy?
An ABC policy is a policy that all boards in California have to adopt annually, of how they're going to process the delinquencies.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
And so, right. So that process, so it has to be published. All the owners have to go through the same process. This is in California, is to avoid special treatment for some owners as compared to other owners when there are delinquencies.
Well, Jake, you just opened my eyes to one thing I had never heard before, is the HOA operates like any HOA would operate, and no HOA, regardless of the price of the homes in the HOA that I live in, this HOA board is not going to give me an exit strategy on my home. So that's something I had never thought about.
Well, the difference, though, is that you can sell your home, right, even if you have a loan.
Right. So let's go back to two major causes of why you cannot sell a timeshare, especially a legacy resort timeshare today. So in the first place, there are probably between 500,000 and 1 million presentations of the timeshare industry offerings from developers today. And every time you go to a presentation and you have a deed, they say, well, we can take your deed away. Your deed doesn't really have any value. We can give you $10,000 for it, but it really doesn't have any value, because the market has changed, the industry has changed, people vacation differently. Your homeowner association is going to have a $20,000 special assessment. For whatever reason, your ownership is really worthless. And that's 500 to 1 million presentations a year when you go in and they say, oh, do you own a timeshare? Where is it? Oh, it's a deeded ownership. Well, it's worthless. And then you have the exit strategy, the exit companies that are advertising radio, television, and internet, where they tell you that you cannot use your week, you're going to have special assessments, you're paying and you'll never use it. So with that type of an atmosphere and that type of pressure on the legacy resorts, it is very hard for any broker to make a market when they have so much pressure on them, and when everybody sees all these ads, and there's no differentiation in these ads between legacy resorts or point systems. It's all called a timeshare, and there are just so many different types of timeshares. But generally, there is just one word in the 20-second commercial that says timeshare. So timeshare is worthless, and you actually need to pay money to get out of it. That is false, but when 1 million commercials run on the air annually, that is the perception of people.
So
if somebody just wanted to walk away, what's the worst thing that they could do, that you could do? What are your options? What's the worst thing for them?
The worst thing is for them not to contact the association. So I will expand on that. At Tahoe Beach and Ski, we have an association, but we can't stop there. The responsibility for the exit has to be put on the 7,000 owners. Every owner in this association has a responsibility to participate in a system that doesn't devalue their property. So what we do at Tahoe Beach and Ski, and now I'm going to change hats. I'm an owner at Tahoe Beach and Ski. So as an owner, I got together with other owners and we developed a spreadsheet. And the spreadsheet is available to our owners. And we market our timeshares on this spreadsheet to our owners. So this is owner-to-owner transactions. We favor owner-to-owner transactions. So somebody that may have an every other year unit and wants an every year unit can look at that spreadsheet and say, oh, I can pick up something for $200, or I can pick up something for free, or I can pick up something for $300. So we have created our own second market. Now, there is no financial money taking place. When there are two people, there's a buyer and a seller, and they both contact our management company and they say, I'd like to change ownership in these two, from one owner to another. And the association charges $300 and pays a broker $300 to change the deed from one owner to another. So we have created an aftermarket specifically for our own units, for owners that want to buy more units, and also for owners that want to exit. So to your question, Wayne, what do we tell them first? We tell them, the association tells them, talk to Jake. He will point you to the right direction where you can list your unit on this spreadsheet, and there will be other owners looking at that spreadsheet, and these owners will put the seller in touch with their cousin, their next door neighbor, somebody that came to the resort and wanted to buy, or this other owner that is actually an owner already but wants to acquire more inventory at the resort.
And Jake, you also have someone on site that helps to promote the, like he shows up for activities?
So the on-site promotions is strictly for association inventory. So we keep these two things separate. The association does association business. So we have these units that come in through the exit strategy, and through the exit process, the association acquires inventory that it immediately turns around, and we have somebody on site, a real estate agent, that works to relieve the association from this acquired inventory. And that is completely different from the other side, which is owner-generated transactions, where an owner can transfer the ownership to another owner, where the association is not involved at all in this transaction. It is strictly an owner-to-owner, with the 7,000 owners at Tahoe Beach and Ski take on themselves the responsibility for creating a market to their own units. If that process fails, then they can always use the exit strategy. So,
okay. Jake, here's my question. I'm going to rephrase it. Okay. a lot of homeowners association aren't as accommodating as you, and there's a lot of owners who aren't as nice as others. So if somebody just says, I don't want to have anything to do with my timeshare, I'm not using it anymore, I'm just going to walk it away. I'm just going to walk away from it. I don't want an exit program. I want nothing to do with those people.
Right.
Is there anything that the homeowners association can do in California legally if somebody just wants to walk away? What's the worst that's going to happen to them?
So the association has legally a few processes. They still have to continue the ABC policy, right? So the first thing that happens to this person is they can't walk away, right? In other words, they are a member, they signed up to be a member, and they will continue to be a member until something happens. And the first thing that happens after that is, and I will rephrase your walking away, when they stop paying their dues. That is walking away. So when they stop paying their dues, then the association has to follow the ABC policy. And the ABC policy is applied to everybody equally. And you first get a letter saying you're delinquent, then you lose your rights. The next step is you lose your rights to use your ownership. And if you continue to be delinquent, then there's a process in place where you can either go to collections, go through collections, and then go through all the way up to foreclosure. California does not have, it has a judicial foreclosure. So in states where there is non-judicial foreclosure, you just lose the timeshare. In states where you have judicial foreclosure, the association has to go to court and do a full foreclosure of real estate.
Well, in Indian Wells told a member that if you bought in California, well, they didn't. They said that they could take you to small claims court, but I checked with an attorney, and they said if you live in a state where you bought a timeshare, but it would be difficult to go to small claims court across state lines. Do you agree with that? Would you ever take anyone to small claims court?
We have not in the past, and we do not, and it is not part of our ABC policy.
Okay, well, I would like to contrast Tahoe Beach and Ski with, I heard today from a daughter of her father died and her mother has suffering from dementia. And the other example, she just called today, Maury in Mississippi is an owner at the villas at Hickory Hill, which is a Crown resort. And Maury has been suffering from cancer since 2007. He's had stem cell replacement, needed a special van to go to the grocery store. He has only used the timeshare once since 1985, and they will not accept any medical hardship. They refer you to Vacacia to sell your timeshare. And this Westgate owner that contacted me today, Westgate told them that they should contact Vacacia, and they did. And Vacacia told them they haven't sold a Branson Westgate timeshare in 2 years. So it's not healthy for the industry. They're shooting themselves in the foot by sending grandma to collections, and I am just so grateful to hear that Tahoe Beach and Ski is doing things right. And the owner themselves have to understand, like some people call me and they say, they don't understand when I say, well, if you didn't pay your 2020 maintenance fees, you have to pay that. And so they have to understand that somebody still has to cut the grass and pay the vendors that are necessary to keep the resort going. And the consequence of not having a responsible exit, we're going to hear next week from John Cushman of Timeshare Specialist, and he has done an incredible job of intelligence gathering from timeshare exit scams. And you can go on to Timeshare Specialist's website, and he has 117 scams. He has several more to add before we talk to him next week, but you can click on info for each one. One of them actually pirated the name of an existing company called Just Fly Away and uses them as a scam. So, we need the developers and the HOA to be realize that to be part of the solution, they have to acknowledge they're part of the problem. So I really thank you, Jake, for being with us today. We hope you'll join us again. And Wayne, I don't know if you have any closing comments yourself.
Well, yeah, it's a special situation because I used to work for Sunterra, and we had to coerce the owners into converting into points. We had to. We were forced by management. So I'm surprised that you still have deeded weeks there. Why? And now you're owned by Diamond. Is that correct?
We're not.
Okay,
we're completely independent.
You're completely okay. That makes okay. That's
right.
That's why.
Diamond
deeded
owns,
weeks, I'm going to say it's the best.
Right. Diamond owns 25% of Tahoe Beach and Ski, and they do have a point program that they use outside of our resort. But when they send their guests on points to our resort, they're just like any other owner. They have the right to use their ownership in our resort. But our association is completely independent.
Is there an option for those members who are not going to use their timeshare to rent it out? Do you have a rental program there?
We do. We favor an owner-to-owner rental program, and we have a spreadsheet for that. And our owners are very eager to rent from other owners. And typically, the transfer rate is the cost of the dues. So nobody's really making money out of it, but it just helps a lot because we book our units 18 months in advance. And then 18 months later, we might want to go the next week or the previous week. So we just trade among ourselves or rent it out if we can't use it.
Okay.
We'll rent.
So in other words, when you rent, you don't rent to the public. In other words, someone can't show up and say, I want a hotel room for the night or for the week. Is that correct?
The association does. The association rents association inventory on OTAs, but owners themselves favor on renting to other owners, even though our management company does have a rental program where they allow the owner to put the unit into a rental program. But our owners, our 7,000 owners, favor in their own interest of renting space to other owners or from other owners. So we are very owner-centric association, and more and more owners are engaged in this process of all being members of this, equal members of this association, instead of having this them versus us, the developers versus points company versus management versus the board. We're all owners, and we all try to work together for the same goal, which is preserving our vacation experience.
Okay.
Well, fantastic. And thank you all for joining us tonight. And Jake, we hope to have you back again soon. You have a lot more to share with us that we want to hear from you. And Wayne, thank you. Irene, thank you. We'll see you again next week.
Very good. Thank you very much. And
Thank you,
if you'd
John.
like to publish a phone number for me after this is over, I'll give you a phone number. So
thank you. We'll put that in the comments below, and we hope those who watch will subscribe to our channel.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.